Hello, I'm going to be discussing our final book, Everything is Illuminated, um, by Jonathan Safran Foer. It's hard to think that this is our final book for this class, and that we've already read 8 other books, but here we are, last book. I really enjoyed reading Everything is Illuminated. It was just a really interesting book about this young man's story about him traveling, trying to, learn more about his grandfather's life in Ukraine. He's trying to find his grandfather's shtetl, but the only thing that he has is just a couple of maps and a photograph of a woman named Augustine, who supposedly saved his grandfather from the Nazis. Jonathan, who's the main character in this book, who's searching for his grandfather's life, has a couple of guides. The first one, or he has a guide, but like a few other guys come with him. But the guide is Alex, and he's a Ukrainian man, and they're the same age. And their driver is Alex's grandfather, who claims to be blind. Interesting, right? Accompanying them in is the grandfather's seeing eye dog. And in this book, there's basically 3 different narratives. There's chapters written by Jonathan, and then there's chapters written by Alex, and then there's letters between Alex to Jonathan. The chapters that Jonathan wrote describe different events in his family's history in Trachtenbrod. I don't know how to say these words. The chapters written by Alex describe Jonathan's present trip, and the letters written from Alex to Jonathan reveal the 2 characters growing a relationship as friends and writers. This book, the last chapter really, it tied it all together and made it what the book is now, a really good American novel. The last chapter was a letter from grandfather to Jonathan, which he wrote just before committing suicide. He tells Jonathan how Alex stood up to his father and kicked him out of the house. And at the end of the letter is addressed to Alex. And grandfather tells him that he can now die, not because he is weak, but because he is finally happy and at peace. And that just kind of like pulled the whole book to what it is and really made it the interesting book that it is. I'm glad that we had the opportunity to read this book, and I really hope that classes in the future get the chance to read it, because it was a great book, and I really enjoyed this class, and I really enjoyed all the books that we got to read. Some of them not my favorites, but I did really get introduced into some awesome American novels, and I really appreciated all the help that we got learning about these novels, and I, overall really did learn a lot. So that's all.